evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Excuse me. Well, I'm going to start by saying to you what Elizabeth Taylor said to all of her husbands. I won't keep you long. My journey to this moment began in June of 1979. My brand new husband's first duty station was Norfolk, Virginia. So I arrived in Norfolk. I was new to marriage. I was new to the Navy, new to Norfolk. I was just new to everything. And within a month, he was gone for 6 months on a deployment. Well, shucks, what am I supposed to do? So I didn't have any family in the area, but in the parking lot when we moved in, I met Nina O'Daniel. And she said, well, why don't you apply for a job at Norfolk State? My husband Rick works over there in the School of Business. So, okay, that sounds like a plan. So my undergrad degree is in English, and I met with Thelma Curl, Dr. Thelma Curl. And she was very nice to me. She said, well, you know, you have a master's in educational media, so I really think you ought to go right downstairs and see Dr. Edgerton. And I said, okay, I'll do that. So I did go downstairs where I met Mary Jarvis, and I met Grady James, Stan Tigton, and Wilbert Edgerton. Those were my first people that I met in this particular department. Well, guess what? 2 faculty members had resigned the week before, and they both had degrees in educational media. So he really had a severe need for educational media. And he pretty much hired me on the spot. And I'm not sure, I think that he saw something in me that I wasn't really even sure of myself. But what he didn't know was I actually had accepted a job as director of one of the dorms. What was I thinking? And then I think really they were trying to take advantage of the fact that I had military benefits, because they said, well, there's a room there. You can, those nights when you have to spend the night, and, you know, you won't need health care and all that. I don't think And so Mr. Black, Roscoe Black, was the dean of men at the time, and he had offered me that position. And so he and Edgerton had lunch to work this thing out. And I remember him saying, dang, Edgerton, you can't have her because I threw all the other applications in the trash. But Edgerton won, yay! So here I am. And I'll be taking my seat in just a minute. Now, in 1979 was a very pivotal year, an inspiring year in the history of Norfolk State University. Norfolk State had just earned university status. So when I began working there in August of 1979, it actually was Norfolk State University and not Norfolk State College. And early in 1980, our campus radio station, WNSB-FM, signed on the air. The department had 600 majors and 6 faculty members. We were way understaffed. We had, each of us had 100 majors. Stan, you remember, don't you? Did he hear me? I was the only woman, and Paula alluded to this, I was the only woman on the staff for 6 years. And at first, Dr. Edgerton, when we would have a meeting, he would say, fellas and Wanda. And then after a few months, it was just fellas. But he would change his language if I was in the room, because he said, you know, if you have to get them, you have to grab them by the, and he'd look over at me and he'd say, coconuts. So, at long last, Paula Clark Briggs came to join the faculty, and then shortly thereafter, or shortly before, I can't remember, but Lenora Brogdon Wyatt came in as the new chair. And so at last, I had women with me.
The three B's.
Through the years, there have been many, many changes. You know, honest to God, I've served under every president except Lyman Brooks. And there's a new one coming in, but I'm going to miss that. So, you know, with change comes new department chairs, new deans, new provosts, new presidents, new faculty members. And then, of course, in 1998, there was the great merger of mass comm and journalism. Okay, so I had one foot turned towards my chair, just so you know. I actually started my collegiate journey at the University of Arizona, but truly I was just a number. There were 30,000 students. I had lecture classes that had 400 people. And Godzilla could have been sitting in the seat. They really just took roll based on seats that were filled. And so I stayed there for 3 years, but I ended up transferring to North Carolina Central University. And this is where my life and my learning began. The professors there took time to know me. They knew who I was as a person, and I mattered to them. And then I understood exactly what the mission of an HBCU was and what the difference was between a PWI and an HBCU. And the difference was the element of nurturing. And that was the beginning of my love affairs with HBCUs. So when I started teaching at Norfolk State, it was always my intention to give back all the nurturing that was given to me at NCCU. I understood students who had the potential but not the focus, because that was me. I understood that kindness could stand in the gap when nothing else could make a difference. I was given the greatest gift in the world, and that is seeing young people come in as freshmen and leave as mature and successful citizens of the world. Now, I have to say, some of y'all were kind of sketchy. When you came in as freshmen, I just look at you and say, bless your heart. We're going to work with you. We're going to work with you. But, you know, after a while, you learn to see the goodness and you learn to see the quality. And I've always told you two things, and I think some of you have taken this to heart. I noticed that everybody, at first, when you first come into college, it's all about the money. What can I do to make money? And so the first thing I always told you was to follow your passion, and the money will come. There's nothing worse than making a lot of money and being miserable. And so it's better to be passionate about what you do. The feeling of satisfaction and gratification makes it all worthwhile. And the second thing that I always want to say to you is, don't hide your light. Let people see who you are. Through the years, you've allowed me to be part of your family. I followed you through marriage and children and divorce and loss, and we both came through on the other side. I did recognize that somehow I was starting to teach the children of the children. I'm not sure how that happened, but there's even one case, and I really have to mention this because I think it's so amazing. We had an entire family in the Department of Mass Communications, not all at one time, but it was the mother and all 5 of her children all came through mass communications. I don't know what happened to Daddy. I have to find out why he took a different path. But interestingly enough, the last one of the Patterson children graduated about 2 years ago, and I ran into them about a month ago, and they're all doing very well. And for 6 people to have degrees in communications, they're all doing something different. Every child and Mrs. Patterson are all doing something different. So I just think that is the most amazing thing. I am grateful for Facebook, which allows me to stay in touch with you, although some of y'all are just pulling for all the wrong football and basketball teams. I just is so annoying. I just don't know. And then you have the nerve to say something smart alecky when I post stuff about my team. But it's been a blessing to watch you grow and flourish and succeed. And I've watched you flourish in whatever industry you've chosen to share your greatness. Of course, radio, television, film, public relations, but also many of you have done very well in corporate America, in education, law enforcement, stand-up comedy, acting, airline pilot, the military, the FBI, the CIA, sales, the music industry, counseling, social work, psychology, IT, etc. So with our degree, you literally can do anything. What a privilege and blessing it has been to have a career that I love. If you know anybody who hates to wake up and go to work, you'll know that it really is a blessing to have a job that you look forward to each day. It doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy a 3-day weekend or snow days, but I most of the time I looked forward to coming every day. Each class had its own chemistry. There are so many things and so many people that I will miss. I will not miss grading stuff. I will not miss doing reports. I will not miss meetings. And most of all, I will not miss taking that annual MOPE test. I hate that thing. So those of you who have to take that MOPE test, you know what I'm talking about. There are 3 questions that I will not miss. And that is, are you busy? Can I ask just one quick question? And the one I hate most of